Welcome back, sports fans. Let's get into it. Before we get into the video, I'd like to apologize for last week's video for not being uploaded due to the eventful homecoming week. Let's get up to date. After the long homecoming break, let's get back into some sports action. The week starts off with Friday's events. Varsity girls soccer travels to Tonawanda, and girls varsity volleyball hosts Lakeshore in their match. Varsity football travels to another tough Class C opponent in Medina. Over the weekend, cross country has another match against East Aurora at home. Then on Monday, varsity girls soccer travels out to Holland to face the Dutchmen. On Tuesday, your varsity girls swim travels to East Aurora, and varsity boys soccer makes a trip to. On Wednesday, varsity girls soccer plays Springville at home, and varsity girls volleyball has Tapestry at home. Finally, on Thursday, boys varsity soccer travels to Springville to play the Griffins. That's all this week's sporting events. Let's go into our next segment, with the pros. The Bills had a close game versus the Texans this week. The team did not look like the team we know. The Bills offensively could not get anything put together. They kept getting shut out, 3-and-outs, and making not the greatest decisions on the field, and it just led them to a poor loss against the Texans. But the Bills will be looking for a bounce-back week against the New York Jets at MetLife on Monday Night Football, where the Jets are going to have to run with their intern head coach due to Robert Sala's recent firing by the Jets. So the Bills are looking like they could possibly get a win this week and bring back their record to 4-2. Go Bills. Next segment we're going to go into is Athlete of the Week. First, we're going to show our last week's Athlete of the Week due to the video not coming out. Our two winners from last week. We have Ava Gald for varsity girls tennis, and we have Sylvia Whitmer for varsity girls cross country. Congratulations on winning Athlete of the Week. Keep up the good work.
Senior co-captain Sylvia Whitmer has been our top female Bulldog at both cross-country invitationals she has participated in this season thus far. She also won our most recent ECIC's Division 5 competition, where we hosted Tonawanda in her fastest 5K cross-country time of the season this far. Sylvia continues to be ranked as one of the top female cross-country runners among ECIC Division 5, as one of the leaders of our undefeated varsity girls cross-country team this season. Ava Gald is a senior and co-captain of the varsity girls tennis team. She plays first singles, which means she faces each school's toughest opponent. She gets the team warmed up and always has a positive attitude. She works very hard at improving her game and mentally. She is very strong against her opponents. After facing defeat in her first match against JFK, she was determined to make sure she would come out on top for her second meeting of the season. She played an incredibly dominant match with few unforced errors, and she was victorious. In our doubleheader against Tonawanda, she easily defeated her opponent 8-2 and 8-0. After Ava finishes her matches, she can be found watching and cheering on her teammates. She is a well-rounded player and a great person to have on the team.
Let's move on to this week's Athlete of the Week winners. We have Jacob Kalinsky for varsity boys soccer and Haley Madursky for varsity girls tennis. Great job on winning this Athlete of the Week this week.
Jacob Kalinsky is a senior and captain on the boys varsity soccer team. Jacob has led the Bulldogs to a division championship with a 5-1 record. His 8 goals and 3 assists led the team offensively. His goal versus Global Concepts sealed a 2-1 win. He assisted on the lone goal against Eden in their 1-0 win to lock the division championship just for the 3rd time in team history. Jacob's work ethic at practices and games raises the level of play for the entire team. He balances a very physical style of play and tireless desire to win with a constant focus on the overall well-being of all players, regardless of their current roles on the team. Haley Madursky is a sophomore on the varsity girls tennis team. Haley Madursky is a sophomore on the varsity girls tennis. Haley plays the second singles for varsity girls tennis team, which means she will face the school's second best player. She started off the season with a nail-biter of a match that went into 3 sets against JFK. After a narrow loss, she was determined to defeat this opponent the next time she played her. Haley did just that. She beat JFK by a score of 6-3 and 6-3. For our doubleheader against Tonawanda, Haley came out victorious by a score of 8-2 and 8-0. Haley's biggest test came from our doubleheader against Eden. She had to step up to play first singles. Haley faced off against Eden's number 1 player and defeated them with a score of 8-1 and 8-3. Whenever we are on the courts, Haley can be found cheering for her teammates and giving them advice on how to improve their game. She is always looking for ways to better herself and the team.
Sports World Shocks. This is covering some interesting sports world's games covering from any sport. But this week, we had a couple in college football. We had number 1 Alabama lose to Vanderbilt. 3-2 Vanderbilt, not known for their football program, but they pulled the upset at home. And the crowd was filled with Alabama fans. Vanderbilt stormed the fields after their 40-35 shocking win over Alabama and take down the goalposts. And it was just a thriller. Then we had the Texas A&M Aggies versus the Mizzou Tigers. No one saw this coming. We thought Mizzou was going to handle business down in College Station, and Texas A&M said, "No way, Jose." They shock them, and they did shock them. 41-10 final score. Texas A&M. They just destroyed Mizzou. That's all you can say about it. And our third game that we chose was number 4 in the country, Tennessee versus unranked Arkansas. Tennessee was just looking for an easy SEC win to move them up in the rankings, but Arkansas came into Rocky Top and showed them who's boss. And Nico did not look like his normal self, to be honest. He played poorly, and I see why Tennessee lost that game. But I'm excited to see this week's movement in the AP polls. I think there's going to be a big amount of changes, especially with Alabama moving from number 1, having Texas probably overtake them here. Texas A&M probably in the top 15 now after their win. I'm surprised. I'm waiting to see where Tennessee finds themselves after losing at the number 4 ranking against an unranked team. Thanks for tuning in this week. Make sure to be here next week. Watch another episode of WACS Sports. See ya.